Welcome to our annual commemoration, when we remember and commemorate the 2,500 men and women who volunteered to go to Spain between 1936 and 1939 to fight fascism and defend democracy. And 526 of them died in Spain.
Si me quieres escribir, ya sabes mi paradero. Tercera brigada mixta, primera línea de fuego. Tercera brigada mixta, primera línea de fuego. En el frente de Gandesa, primera línea de fuego. Ya las tropas invasoras. Ya las tropas invasoras. Buena paliza les dio a Carmen.
The British battalion, when it crossed the River Ebro on the night of the 24th of July, each company carried two flags. The red, yellow and purple of the Spanish Republic and the red and yellow stripes of Catalonia.
Lo descarga su aviación, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Pero nada pueden bombar, pero nada pueden bombar. Donde sobra corazón, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Deberemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Deberemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Pero igual que combatimos, pero igual que combatimos, prometemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Prometemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela.
Annette O'Riordan, who died on the 4th of May, the day after her 60th birthday, was an active and popular member of the IBMT, as well as the daughter-in-law of Irish Brigadier Michael O'Riordan and the wife of the IBMT's Island Secretary, Manus O'Riordan. Annette was a key figure involved in raising the International Brigade Memorial to the Waterford volunteers in 2004, and also the memorial in Burncourt to Kit Conway in 2005. In fact, she designed the Kit Conway Memorial. She was last with us in New Haven only a few months ago at our 2012 annual general meeting, when her cheerful manner belied the illness that she was battling in private. We will all miss her greatly.
Dolly was the daughter of Brigadier Frank West and a leading light for many years in the International Brigade community. The members of the Friends of the International Brigades and those of the International Brigade Association, representing the veterans, got together and decided to create a single organisation, the International Brigade Memorial Trust. Dolly remained fiercely proud of her father and everything he stood for, and though aged 82 when she died, was politically engaged and active until the end. She was truly one of life's irreplaceables.
These are the first 4 notes of the song Toreador. That whistle was the pass through the forward battle lines of the International Brigade. The fascist and Nazi criminals never tortured it or bribed it out of anyone, and they never discovered it. In Spain, he got attached to a hospital and became an ambulance driver. And he and his fellow stretcher bearer, Manuel, a comrade from Cuba, used that whistle, very often under fire, to get the wounded to safety. Their open eyes could see no other way. And we can be so proud of them. We can continue to work for socialism, and we can struggle against slavery, for these are the only choices: socialism or, say, slavery. They were the only choices for my father and his comrades. They are the only choices now. Yes, I'm proud of my father and his comrades. And Father, I salute you with the only salute you ever honoured: the clenched fist. Thank you.
David Lomon, my father. In 1936, the Battle of Cable Street changed everything for him. Being involved in that demonstration was the catalyst. The way that Mosley's fascists were sent packing that day convinced him that he could make a difference. And the very next day he joined the Communist Party so that he could join the many thousand volunteers going to fight in Spain. He fervently believed that although they lost in Spain, their sacrifice was not in vain, as it demonstrated to the world that fascism and dictatorship would always be opposed. I would like to thank the International Brigade Memorial Trust and the people of Spain for allowing my father to represent them and making the last few years of his life unbelievable, memorable and fulfilling. May his thousands of men and women that gave their lives to fight against fascism be an example to the world for freedom, democracy and justice. Salute.
Mick was an extraordinary man, and he was a good friend of mine. He was quite a private person. He wasn't a noisy person. He wasn't a big mouth. He wasn't a chest beater. He was a humble person, particularly about his art. And all over Britain, for working people and their organisations, Mick Jones used his skills and talents. He chose to be the artist of his class. He did murals all over the country. At the Durham Miners, up here in Tottenham Court Road in Fitzrovia, a great political mural. Up and down the land they're there. He was a great person for his dad. When Evelyn died, Mick practically suspended his life in order to be with Jack 24 hours a day almost. And we wouldn't have had Jack all that time if it had not been for his son Mick here in London. That just days after this meeting last year, we lost Mick Jones. 4 days before, his idea, the new plaque, he'd been down on his hands and knees, dying as he was, polishing, burnishing the memory. Mick's life, his commitment to Spain, to the International Brigade, to anti-fascism, to anti-racism, for socialism, goes on. And every time you think of Jack or Evelyn, think of Mick.
Thank you, Rodney. You've expressed what so many of us are feeling about Mick. We're now going to lay the wreaths. For the International Brigade Memorial Trust, the Catalan delegation in London, the Catalan Parliament, the Association of Jewish Ex-Servicemen and Servicewomen, the volunteers from Ireland, and in particular, Michael O'Riordan and Annette O'Riordan, Spaniards who fought for the Allies in the Second World War, Francisco Cisco and his Republican comrade, the Communist Party of Britain, Parliamentary staff of Unite, to the vast Children of 37 organisation, Aslet Waterloo 9 Elms branch, the Colliery Association, the Young Communist League, the Communist Party Hackney branch. Thank you, monument remembering. We'll now have a 1-minute silence.
There's a valley in Spain called Jarama. It's a place that we all know so well. It was there that we gave of our manhood, where so many of our brave comrades fell. Tell me a story. Tell me all about the land where united different people found a way to stand and watch them stand up, watch them lift their hands up against what's wrong. And when I see them standing tall, you know, even after all, I've still got faith in my fellow man. I believe he's doing all he can to rise above this tide of hate. I believe it's not too late.
This person decided to put up a complaint, to file a complaint against our monument. For those of you who have not seen the monument, here it is. This is David Lomon last year. Okay, as you can see, it's a rather discreet monument. It is nothing compared to the Victory Arch, to the monument to the fallen in Moncloa. This is where it should be, in University City. This is where many of the generous brigaders gave their all to defend us against fascism. This is here because we want to inspire the youth of today. They can try all they can to uproot the monument. They will not succeed in uprooting the memories. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are fighting and we shall not be defeated. It's only a monument, and it's not a monument to the Republicans. It's not political. What it says, please, to the volunteers of the International Brigades, you are history, you are legend. You are the heroic example of solidarity and of the universality of democracy. That's what this stands for. Thank you very much for everything you can do to help us. May we see this one day. ¡A por la tercera! ¡Vivan las brigadas internacionales! ¡Vivan! ¡Vivan las brigadas internacionales! ¡Vivan! ¡Vivan las brigadas internacionales! ¡Vivan! Thank you.
To rise above this tide of hate, I believe it's not too late. And I've still got faith in my fellow man. I believe he's doing all he can. I still see truth in the skies above. Flowing through my veins is love. Flowing through their veins was love. Flowing through our veins is love. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you're all aware of the extent to which bitter battles continue to be fought in Spain about historical memory. The attempt by the right in Spain to wipe out the memory of what happened goes on. The main counter battle or counter effort against that comes from a series of organisations all over Spain, the groups for the recovery of historical memory, las agrupaciones para la recuperación de la memoria histórica. They're almost all amateur groups. In other words, they're spontaneous, they're organised by people on the left who think that it's important to maintain the memory of the ideals for which the left defended the Republic during the Civil War. There is only one that is actually sponsored by one of the regional governments, and that's Memorial Democràtic de Catalunya. It does an amazing job. It's extremely even-handed. It looks at all kinds of issues regarding the Civil War from both sides. So in that sense, it's an instrument for reconciliation. And memory is the first step towards reconciliation. It does incredible work in terms of museums, historical walks, particularly we were talking earlier about the Ebro battle. So I think it's wonderful that we have today with us its director, Jordi Palou-Loverdos.
Thank you, Paul. Gracias. I'm really proud to be here with all of you. In the name of the Vice President of the Government of Catalonia, I address to you these words. So the Government of Catalonia wanted to be here and wanted to stand by you. We came here to honor your fathers and mothers. Everybody knows that it's not only the people, the heroes that gave their lives in Catalonia and in Spain, but this affects second and third generation, and we can see that, and that's why we are here. We are 2, 3, even 4 generations together honoring these heroes, and we are here not only to remember the facts of the past. Of course, we remember the facts of the past, and we have to know them, and we have to pass that generation over generation. But especially, we have to be here to evoke these presences. We want to grant a great honor of the courage and the open eyes of all these brigaders that saw very clearly that that was a fascism threat, not only for Catalan or Spain, but for all Europe and the world. And that's why they went and they had this great commitment and this great international solidarity. We are here to grant this honor for the British battalions, but also for all other volunteers that were committed in Spain and in Catalonia. We're talking about doctors, we're talking about nurses, also women. We're very committed there. My last words is for these more than 30,000 volunteer international brigades. More than 50 countries all over the world came to help us, and not only to help us, but to give this clear message of international solidarity, for justice, for reparation, to give these flowers, these special flowers of this presence, of this spirit in favor of truth, in favor of justice, in favor of solidarity. Thank you very much.
I listened to Irving and John and their personal experiences of their fathers, and why these working class people first stood up against racism, then against fascism, and then had to fight for the right to fight against fascism. This was no simple world. This was a time when people who wanted to stand up for humanity and human rights had to demand their right to do so. And the 2,500 from Britain and Ireland that did so led the way forward, along with those from 50 other countries. While we have days like this, while we have people standing up remembering the battles that have gone before and the battles that we're going to have, there is hope for future generations. We had our passionate colleague who stood here and told us that people still believe in the right to remember, the right to respond, the right to challenge, and the right to stand up for the things that are good all over the world. We then had our wonderful international colleagues stand up and say what it meant to the people of the Spain, not only in Catalonia, but everywhere else at that point in time, that internationally people stood up for their beliefs, for the truths. The world has not changed. We now live in an economic climate where, unfortunately, the economic pressures and the systems are going to give rise to the right. They again look at the world and start talking in racist values. They talk about money. They don't talk about people. They don't talk about rights. And they're doing everything they can as the transnationals and as countries to eradicate those rights wherever they are. If we are going to pay a true tribute to those who went before us, who fought for freedom, who fought for human rights, we must continue that legacy, we continue that battle, and we don't let them get away with it. Let's go on, let's fight, keep going.
Brother nor my countryman, not my sister or my friend, but you're my comrade, be so till the last. They shall not pass, they shall not pass.
There were thousands of people outside Cable Street, thousands of people outside Commercial Road, and no march of the fascists took place.
Fight the good fight, fight the good fight. Why not let them burn? I dread the day.
My father-in-law died at Calicetti, and this is my daughter, the next generation, granddaughter and grandson. And we're just saying how pleased we are. There's that many, and a lot of young people are here, which is great.
We might save tomorrow if we try.
Because I'm really grateful for these people who came to my country to fight for freedom and for democracy. So it's just to honor them and to remember them.
Every year I come here, every year now.
My granddad was in the internationals in 1937 to 38 apparently. So we only found out after he died, unfortunately.
Whose motives lie neath frosted glass, you shall not pass.
I've come along to support the people that died fighting fascism.
In the name now of humanity, nor left nor right, nor black nor white.
Well, I've come along today to honour my grandfather in his actions during in the Spanish Civil War, and to honour his fight against fascism way back then.
Why fight the good fight, fight the good fight? Why not let them burn? I dread the day when the suffering of my fellow is none of my concern. So stand up today that we might save tomorrow. Oh, I know there's a way that we might save tomorrow. Yes, it's late in the day, but we might save tomorrow, you and I. We shall shall not turn against each other for our creed or for our colour, nor the ones we choose, our lovers or our class. You that beckon us that way, you shall not pass. Stand up and speak, it's not a call to arms. Get on your feet, it's not a call to arms. Get on the streets, it's not a call to arms. It's a call to helping hands. Stand up today that we might save tomorrow. Oh, I know there's a way that we might save tomorrow. Yes, it's late in the day, but we might save tomorrow if we try. I will not turn against my brother for his creed or for his colour, nor the one he takes his lover or his class. Those that beckon us that way, they shall not pass. Thank you very much. Now pass around. Cheers.
And I feel deeply about this.